racket head acceleration in strokes. If we break down any stroke, we can see three main stages which are virtually present in all strokes. First, racket head acceleration, racket head moving towards the ball, hitting, and the swing weight of the racket head. These stages can be observed in a serve. Acceleration along elliptical path, racket head movement along a straight line, hitting, and the swing weight of the racket head. All the stages are present in every stroke. Main difference: range of movement in every stage. So stage 1, that's the point in space where we have to gain the highest speed. The movement at every point has range, which can be illustrated schematically. Range of movements of elbow, wrist and shoulder joints form forehand movement in blue. Right knee, green color. Left hand in acceleration and hitting, yellow. All these ranges of movements are expressed in the colored pattern in red. It's just a scheme to show the presence of all these ranges of movement. Quality of execution in each point creates harmonious movement. As letters create words and sentences, so the paints make up a painting. Every movement assembled from elements always create individuality, and everything comes down to the quality of assembly and who these elements are assembled for. To overcome your problems and make up problems for your opponent, that's what the art of victory is all about. How to make the ball go faster, how to give the racket the right acceleration. That's the main goal of the first stage of a stroke. Every body area has its own range of movement. In this relatively small range of movement, in a very short period of time, we have to gain the highest speed, hence power. Our goal: to understand how to accelerate the racket head in such small space. Forehand ground strokes at warm-up speed, Dmitry Tursunov. As the right foot presses against the surface, the right arm straightens out in elbow, then the body weight, black line, shifts to the left foot. The body smoothly enters the hitting zone in yellow. Blue color wrist and the racket are fixed at extreme positions. This is the overall scheme of the first stage of a stroke, which includes beginning of the racket head acceleration. Here we're also preparing optimal position at every point to move the racket correctly towards the ball. In the swing and beginning of the first stage of a stroke, the wrist might be relaxed. But at the end of the first stage, the racket head leaves the ellipsis and moves along a straight line and accelerates with the help of the support leg, supinating the wrist with its weight. The racket is moving along a straight line, which is the shortest path to the contact point. In a contact point, the head moves through the ball and moves upwards. The range of movement of the human body is limited by its shape. We cannot swing the racket towards the moon, have it accelerated a couple of days along the straight line so that at the contact point it gains the speed of a light, but still we have to accelerate it. We have only 1 second and 1 meter of space behind us. Any body which is moving along the closed loop has limited range of movement. We can see steady movement along closed loop, which is not very common in real conditions. In order to speed up, we have to compress the trajectory and make an ellipsis. In this part of the trajectory, the body slows down. In this part, it speeds up. The more we compress the trajectory, the lower the speed is at the sides of the ellipses. The higher is the speed at the upper and lower part. Less the compression is, then the speed will be steadier. This law is applicable not only to tennis and the racket acceleration. In our case, we consecutively involve different muscles of foot, knee, pelvis, abdominal muscles. Then we can create advantage at this area of the battlefield where we can accelerate the racket head. If we change the shape of the racket acceleration, if we give it compressed or elliptical trajectory, we will speed up the racket head movement towards the ball. In this example, opponents are playing with each other. Here, the racket acceleration ellipse is not very compressed, and the speed is average. Simon's attacking stroke. Here we can see that the racket head moves along towards the ball at the level of a swing. There is supination, and the racket head lagging behind the handle is the result of high acceleration at the end of the first stage. Here the angle racket forearm on the clock face shows that the green arrow shows the direction of the future hitting movement, blue parallel to the racket head, red handle butt, facing the approaching ball. Main mistake at this stage: racket head, where it should accelerate, slows down. What's important here is not the speed, but the flow and smooth acceleration. Start with a smaller ellipsis. Try to feel the acceleration. If we compress the ellipses of the acceleration line, we can supinate passively the wrist and improve the racket acceleration. Such technique, nevertheless, requires good muscles and ligaments. At the very beginning, to avoid injury, don't go after speed. Don't copy anyone, but try to find movement which will be harmonious to your body.